அவங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணா போதும், அவங்களே பண்ணிக்கலாம். சைலா சார், குட் மார்னிங் சார். சார் நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கலாம், உங்களை நீங்க அன்மியூட் பண்ணிருங்க சார்.
ஓகே சார்.
குட் மார்னிங் சார். வெரி குட் மார்னிங் சார். தேங்க்யூ.
குட் மார்னிங்.
தேங்க்யூ ஃபார் யுவர் தேங்க்யூ சார். தேங்க்யூ வெரி மச் சார். நைஸ் டு see you சார்.
வெல்கம்.
கரெக்டாக ஒரு 10:30க்கு ஆரம்பிச்சிடும் சார், ப்ளீஸ்.
எக்ஸாக்ட்லி. ஓகே சார்.
ஓகே சார். ஓகே ப்ளீஸ்.
Sir, good morning.
குட் மார்னிங் சாகுல் சார்.
நல்லா இருக்கீங்களா சார்?
நல்லா இருக்கேன் சார்.
நல்ல சார், ஃபைன், கிரேட். தேங்க்ஸ் ஃபார் கம்மிங் சார்.
வெல்கம் சார். வெல்கம்.
பிரின்சிபல் சார், அஸ்ஸலாமு அலைக்கும் சார்.
வலைக்கும் சலாம்
சார். ஆரம்பிச்சிடலாமா சார்? ஒரு நிமிஷம் இருக்கு.
10:30 ஆகட்டும்.
சரிங்க சார். ஓகே சார்.
பார்ட்டிசிபென்ட் 70 தான் வந்திருக்காங்க.
ஆமாம், இன்னைக்கு 3rd இயருக்கு டெஸ்ட் சார். காலேஜ்
ஆரம்பி.
சித்ரா மேம், இம்தியாஸ் சார். இம்தியாஸ் சார் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. சித்ரா மேம் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க. அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. சித்ரா மேம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணிக்கோங்க. சித்ரா மேம் அன்மியூட் பண்ணுங்க. சார் ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணுங்க.
A very good morning to everyone present here. I cordially invite you to the state-level webinar on challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs, practical examples. Prayers don't have to be long and eloquent. They need only come from a sincere and humble heart. With these sentiments in mind, let us invoke the God's blessing on all of us through Quran. I welcome Mr. K.S. Imtiaz Asraf, Assistant Professor of English Department, to recite Quran.
Thank you, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده وأوفوا بالعهد إن العهد كان مسؤولا وأوفوا الكيل إذا كلتم وزنوا بالقسطاس المستقيم ذلك خير وأحسن تأويلا ولا تقف ما ليس لك به علم إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا صدق الله العظيم. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and the most merciful. Do not come near the wealth of the orphan unless intending to enhance it until they attain maturity. Honor your pledges, for you will surely be accountable for them. Give in full when you measure and weigh with an even balance. That is the fairest and best in the end. Do not follow what you have no sure knowledge of. Indeed, all will be called to account for their hearing, sight, and intellect. Chapter number 17, verses 34, 35, and 36. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. A simple smile is the universal welcome. Now I would like to welcome Professor P. Muhammad Bukhari Salim, Assistant Professor of Commerce, Coordinator of this webinar, to welcome the gathering.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and most merciful, I welcome you all for one-day state level webinar on challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs, practical examples, organized by Department of Commerce, Sadakathullah Appa College, Autonomous, Rahmath Nagar, Tirunelveli. First of all, I would like to welcome the Secretary and Management Committee members, Sadakathullah Appa College, Autonomous, Tirunelveli. I welcome respected Principal of Sadakathullah Appa College, Autonomous. Welcome, sir. I welcome today's webinar resource person, Dr. Silas Sargunam, Head, Department of Management Studies, Hub Coordinator, AURCT, IED Hub, Anna University Regional Campus, Tirunelveli. I would like to welcome Dr. Syed Muhammad Khaja, Head and Vice Principal, Unaided Courses. Welcome, sir. I welcome the faculty member of Ms. Chitra. Welcome, madam. And I welcome other faculty members from our own college and reputed friendly institutions. I welcome research scholars, students, industrialists, and other participants. I hope today's webinar would cherish problems and ground reality in Indian industry and entrepreneurs. Once again, I welcome one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. To succeed in your mission, you must have single-minded devotion to your goal. Now I would like to welcome Dr. M. Muhammad Sadiq, Principal of our college, to deliver the presidential address.
Thank you, Chitra madam.
Thank you, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. If you could count up the favors of God, never would you be able to number them. For God is all forgiving and most merciful, says the Holy Quran. Respected chief guest of this fine occasion, Dr. S. Silas Sargunam, HUB Coordinator, AURCT, IEDP Hub, Anna University Regional Campus, Tirunelveli, who is going to give a talk on challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs. Really, I appreciate the head of the Department of Commerce and the vice principal of our college to invite a speaker guest like our Silas Sargunam sir, such a knowledgeable, scholarly persons for our webinar. Sir, thank you for coming to our campus, sir. Thank you. Respected Vice Principal of our college, Dr. S.M.S. Syed Mohammad Khaja, respected Mrs. Chitra, respected Professor Muhammad Buhari Salim, respected faculty members of commerce, respected faculty members of the commerce department of other commerce department of our college, respected Dean of Arts, Dean of Sciences, respected Controller of Examinations of our college, respected Deputy Controller of Examinations of our college, IQIC Coordinator, the HODs of various departments, the faculty members who are attending this webinar from friendly institutions, and the attendees from our own institutions and other institutions. Really, it's a very happy morning to meet you all in this pandemic situation with the technology of online communication. Actually, people are getting out of the campus with degrees and even very high marks, but not able to get a job. This is a present day scenario, and it's our responsibility as an educator. We have to make a link between the academy and the industry. The gap between the academy and the industry is wide in India. But in other countries, Japan-like countries, where academy and the industry are together, industry will come into the academy and train the students for their requirement. That is what there is no job less problem in countries like Japan or US, whatever it is. In our country, there is no relationship, there is no coordination between the academia and the industry. The students who are studying something in academic in our college, all those contents are useless in the market. For example, in the case of computer science, students are still learning about C language, but it has passed 25 years more. The industry needs something else, not C language. But we are going on teaching the same C language for 30 years, 35 years. That is what the academy and the industry is not tied up. Because of that, there are this much of problems. I had a meeting with the last 10 days back. I had a meeting with our Tirunelveli Collectorate, where they are going to develop an app. Probably they are going to call it as Hello Nellai, something like that. And the basic is there are so many unemployed youths in our society, plumbers, mechanists, or for example, radio mechanics or mobile mechanics, mobile technicians or electricians, one side. And the other side, the requirement by the common people, household requirements. We don't know where to call for mobile repairing. We don't know where to call plumbing. We don't know where to call for electrical repairing. We have to run after the electricians and the plumbers. We have to go to the electrician shop and talk to them. It is something easy if I have a web app. If the app has having all the details about the day-to-day requirements of the house, the house owner or the house maker can contact anybody through the app and get the things done. Because of this application, jobless are being made jobbable, and the necessities are immediately satisfied within a fraction of a second or minute. So these are all the new things which are coming up. We have to think about all these facilities with the help of this online type of online mode of technology. So days are very fastly coming where we need not go to anywhere for the services of mixie repairing or grinder repairing, something like that. We can just type in your mobile app they'll be coming to your home and repair all the things. So likewise, like the Red Bus concept, Red Bus, the Red Bus owner, the app owner is not having a single bus, but he can have thousands of buses in his hand and sell tickets for those thousands of buses. Without having a single bus, he is a crorepati of having 1,000 buses. This is a concept like this. So we have to make our graduates entrepreneur, not job seekers, but job givers. So with these few words, I express my heartfelt thanks to the organizers of this wonderful webinar, especially our Vice Principal, Dr. S.M.A. Syed Mohammad Khaja, and the organizing team for inviting such a wonderful scholar and making the program a grand success. And I pray Allah Almighty that the whole effort is being helpful to the society as well as successful to the organizers. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Praise your children more than you correct them. Praise them for even smallest achievement. Now I welcome our beloved Vice Principal of Unaided Courses, Dr. S.M.A. Syed Mohammad Khaja, to deliver the felicitation address.
Thank you, ma'am. Good morning and Assalamu alaikum to everybody. The Almighty will show the peace and mercy to all of us. I begin in the name of Almighty, the most gracious and the most benevolent. Respected and beloved our principal, Dr. M. Mohammad Sadiq, respected resource persons and the good academician, Dr. S. Shaila Sanmugam, the hub coordinator, AU, RCT, IADP, Anna University Regional Campus, Tirunelveli. Respected organizing secretary of this webinar, Ms. H. Chitra ma'am, respected coordinator of this webinar, Dr. Mr. Muhammad Bukhari Salim, respected head PG and Research Department of Commerce, Dr. A. Hamil, respected faculty members of our department, Auditor Balasubramaniam and Advocate John Christopher and Sir Raj Kumar, respected faculty members, scholars and other institutions, and our respected IQAC coordinator, Dr. Syed Mohammed, respected Controller of Examinations, Dr. Abdul Qadir, respected Deputy Controller Karnamuthia ma'am, and respected Dean of Arts, Muhammad Hanif, respected Dean of Sciences, Muhammad Roshan, and respected DRD, Dr. Badusa, and participants, scholars from various institutions, and student friends. Really, I am happy to take part and felicitate in this state-level webinar on challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs, practical examples being organized by our own Department of Commerce. I congratulate the department, that's our team, for having selected this suitable topic for discussion and also deliberation of this seminar. The topic of the webinar is more relevant to the new entrepreneurs. It is very much useful to the entrepreneurs and the existing small traders in our nation, and also how to overcome from these hardships. In India, not only in India, in our areas also, they are facing more problems. Today, all the business people and MSMEs in globally are facing a pathetic position to survive from their problems. Since the COVID-19 pandemic has attacked in the world, it has become difficult for marketers to sail through. Many conferences, events, product launches are hung in the mid due to the global crisis and lockdown. When there is what are the challenges faced by the entrepreneurs today? Is this cash flow management? They are facing the cash capital shortage, and hiring employees is the problem also. And time management is also faced by the entrepreneurs. They have major problems and the challenges, and delegating the tasks, choosing and what to sell, and marketing strategy and staff budget. These are the problems. In addition to that problem, the another problems are bureaucracy, corruption, labor, regional sentiments, grey market and counterfeit market, and social capital. And in this seminar, our resource person, they definitely give more solution to the entrepreneurs, and the marketing and magic wand of many companies showing wonders through online platform. In this webinar, our resource person, I am here being introduced by the resource person. He is a good academician. Resource person, the Silas Sadakathullah. He is a good academician and having vast experience in the field of entrepreneurship, and also training programs to entrepreneurs, EDP program. It gives me an immense pleasure to our resource person, Dr. S. Saila Sarkunam. He is working as the head of the Department of Management Studies, Anna University, Tirunelveli Regional Campus in Tirunelveli. Regarding his educational qualification, he did his BE degree in the year 1991 at Bharatiyar University, Coimbatore, and MBA degree in 1994 at Madurai Kamaraj University, and he completed his PhD in the year 2006 at Madurai Kamaraj University, and he also completed his ME Computer Science Engineering at Anna University, Chennai in the year 2012. Previously, he held various positions. Some of them are Dean in charge of University Departments of Anna University Tirunelveli campus, and he is acted as a finance officer at Anna University Tirunelveli, and a deputy controller of examination of Anna University and deputy director research at Anna University Tirunelveli regions. At present, he is having some additional responsibilities in addition to the head of the department. He is acting as a deputy director affiliation Anna University Tirunelveli. He is also a board of studies members in Anna University Chennai, Madurai Kamaraj University, and the FX Engineering College Tirunelveli. He is also the coordinator of EDP Hub, Anna University Regional Office, and he published more than 30 journals, 20 conference publications, and 20 newspapers articles. He also edited 13 books and course materials. He won the first prize in the state level paper contest conducted by the All India Management Association New Delhi in the year 2008. He attended more than 30 faculty development programs and workshops, and he has done consultancy and training activities with 5 organizations. He has a good knowledge and experience in the field of conducting the Enterprise Development EDP program and in the Tirunelveli area, and they are also providing training to the small entrepreneurs and MSMEs. Definitely, this program, and I appreciate this our principal and the head and faculty members of the Commerce Department for their fruitful efforts to host this webinar to benefit the business people, MSMEs, and participants during this pandemic period, and guiding them how to overcome from this crisis. Definitely, I wish the webinar in a grand success. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to everyone. Thank you, Ananda. Okay, ma'am. Chitra, ma'am, unmute yourself.
Thank you, sir. The admiration of genius makes one aspire for excellence in life that creates the harvest so abundant. We take immense pleasure to recognize the values presence of our resource person, Dr. S. Saila Sargunam, Hub Coordinator, AURCT, IADP, Hub Anna University, Regional Campus Tirunelveli. Now I humbly request our chief guest to deliver the address.
Thank you, madam. Respected principal of Sadakathullah College, who is known to be a techno-savvy leader in an arts college, an expert in computer science. Vice Principal and Head of the Department of Commerce, Professor Kaja, esteemed heads of the departments, dear faculty members, and loving students. It is my immense pleasure to be with you this morning. Happy to share with you out of my exposure in the field of entrepreneurship. The objective of this webinar is to encourage you to face hardships as a human being, as a student, as a job seeker, and as an entrepreneur. Problems are there everywhere. Nobody is without a problem. That is why in Tamil they say, Veetukku Veedu Vasarpadi. Every house will have an entrance. Likewise, everybody will have problems. Similarly, entrepreneurship field is also not without any problem. There are many problems, but today we are going to see how a few entrepreneurs from our country overcame those difficulties to shine as exemplary entrepreneurs. So, this is not going to be theoretical or textual, but it is going to be something very practical. We are going to draw some leaves out of the books of the life history of some of the well-known entrepreneurs, some of whom have good educational background, family background, some of whom do not have any educational background or family background, but still they had been successful. So we are going to see a few of these Indian entrepreneurs, and let me share my screen. Madam, is the screen visible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, very visible, sir.
Okay. Challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs, practical examples. I do not know how many of you could recognize this exemplary son of India. He is Azim Premji, chairman of Wipro. First, we are going to look at the struggles he had in his life before going on to become one of the best entrepreneurs, successful not only in the business domain, but also very, very successful in his social concern and contribution. Let's look at the background of Azim Premji. It was in the year 1945, a company was started in India, and the name was Western Indian Vegetable Products Limited. You may wonder what is the connection between Azim Premji and Western Indian Vegetable Products, because this was started by his father, Muhammad Hashim Premji. The company was manufacturing Vanaspati, or as we commonly call it, Dalda, hydrogenated vegetable oil. That is why they gave the name Western Indian Vegetable Products Limited. And the byproduct of the Vanaspati, the waste from the process, was used to make detergent bar. So this was the product with which Western Indian Vegetable Products Limited launched into the market. Azim Hashim Premji is the son of Muhammad Hashim Premji, who had no intention to come into business. His father, Muhammad Hashim Premji, gave him very good education. He had an engineering orientation, so he was admitted in Stanford University, and he was studying electrical engineering in United States. If everything had gone smoothly, he would have become an excellent electrical engineer, would have worked in United States, settled nicely in United States, and that would have been his story. But there was a turning point, a personal tragedy, a problem faced by Azim Premji from his family side first time. When he was just 21 years old, in the year 1966, his father, Muhammad Hashim Premji, passed away. And that put a lot of hardships on the family, because it was solely dependent on the single person, Muhammad Hashim, and his income generation. So Azim Premji had to stop his education while he was doing third year engineering, and he had to come back because his family depended on him. So it was not out of his own interest that he came to India or entered into business, but it was compulsion for feeding the family that took him into this field of business. Right. And he was very young. He was 21 years old. And the company was not doing very well. And the turning point, another turning point happened when he attended the first AGM, annual general body meeting of the shareholders of the company. He thought everything will be smooth. His father had established a business, so he could step in and can have a smooth ride. But that was not to be. What happened? In the first AGM, he was confronted by so many people who had invested in their business. There were a few shareholders, and one of them was very vehement and vociferous. He was very questionable, and he was asking a lot of questions to him. What is your business plan? How are you going to expand business? How are you going to take this business to a greater height? So many questions were asked, and this put Asim Premji in a very tight spot. He thought, oh, people are expecting a lot of things from me. I have to do something. And from that day onwards, he started applying his mind to business, and he started a dedicated journey towards developing the company, Western India Vegetable Products Limited. So he thought, if we are continuing with these two products alone, we will be nowhere. We have to enter into other product areas. And he started entering into other areas. He started manufacturing bakery fats which were used by the bakery people. Instead of oil, they apply this. And from detergent bars which were earlier manufactured, he also got into bathing soaps, which are even today available in the market. Wipro bathing soaps are very popular. He ventured into baby products, feeding bottles, and so many other products used by babies. So this was a very energetic diversification Asim Premji had, because he was confronted by one individual in the board meeting who questioned him, you are so young, how are you going to take this business to a higher level? He also got into lighting products. Even today you will find Wipro tube lights are there, and so many other electrical products. And today this is the second most profitable business division even today in Wipro. Lighting products. He got into this, maybe he had learned something about electrical engineering and he wanted to get into this. So that was the diversification. And a totally unrelated one, hydraulic cylinders, a very, very complex industrial product. So this was the result of a particular problem faced by him when he attended the first annual general body meeting of the company, and that propelled him to energetically launch into all these areas. Okay, things were going smoothly, and Premji thought, okay, we can go ahead with this. But another problem came. This was in the year 1970s, early 70s, when IBM exited the market. And his own products, he was using the products of IBM, the computer products, and he was facing a problem for continuing the usage. Had there been anybody else, they would have sat in frustration. But Asim Premji thought of it in a different way. He looked into the problem and he found an opportunity in that problem. At that time, many of his classmates in Stanford University had got into the industry in USA, and they were all having responsible positions. One of his friends was working in a US company called Sentinel Computer Corporation, and when he was discussing with him the problem of IBM exiting the country, he suggested, why don't we start manufacturing mini computers And then they started taking it very seriously. Those were the days when foreign collaborations or foreign joint ventures were not allowed. But Asim Premji was working towards it, making a lot of consistent efforts, convincing the government, and the government was also in need of some companies supplying the computers, particularly the hardwares, even hardware components for maintenance of computers left behind by IBM. So they allowed, and as a result, a joint venture was formed. And when the American company people, when they discussed the name of this company, Western Indian Vegetable Products Limited, they had a funny laugh. They said, "We don't want to do anything with vegetables. We are a high-tech company." So Asim Premji abbreviated the company's name and he called it WIPRO. That is how Wipro, the famous company, came into existence. And this company started manufacturing hardware components and also mini computers. Everything was going smoothly, but nothing is permanent. Only change is the constant. So you could expect a change from any quarters, and this came in the form of economic liberalization in 1991. This allowed foreign companies to come in, and Wipro could no longer compete with international companies which came in. HP, Hewlett Packard came in, a few other companies came in, and it was very tough for Wipro to continue in that business. So rather than looking at it from a negative point of view, he started looking from it at an optimistic view, and he found a solution, and it was IT services. In hardware services, there was tough competition, but he found Indians had an inherent strength in the software sector, so he started focusing on it. So nobody thought Wipro will grow into a giant, particularly a multinational giant, because till that time it was exposed only to the Indian market, working with Indian consumers. But now the focus shifted to IT services, and there was phenomenal growth. Wipro was one among the pioneering companies which got into IT services, and they grew into a US billion, $1.76 company within a short span of 10 years. And also, it was working continuously on quality enhancement in the software side. And this was the first company, for that matter, first Asian company to achieve Six Sigma in the software field. And it went on to become the first company in the world to achieve PCMM level 5. So this is something which we should learn from Asim Premji. From being a person who would have led a normal life by graduating in United States, settling in United States, there was a personal tragedy, and he took it upon himself to come to India and run the company of his father. When he faced problem in running the company, he took it as a challenge and he started diversifying into many areas, launching so many products, making the company very, very profitable. He proved himself. But when the challenge came in the form of IBM leaving it, he started manufacturing mini computers. He proved himself in that field. Success was not permanent. When liberalization happened, the market for hardwares was gone. But he took it upon himself as a challenge and he plunged into IT services. And today, as you know, Wipro is a common name in IT services. You will be surprised to know the Stanford University, where he left in the middle in the third year, the university offered him honorary degree achieving or commemorating his achievement in the field of software. but he refused it. He went to United States at the age of 45, joined the course as full-time, completed the BE Electrical Engineering from Stanford University at the age of 46, and later, recognizing his hard work and achievement, the same university gave him honorary doctorate degree, which he accepted. Okay, dear students, this is one example of an entrepreneur who faced challenges from different quarters, from the personal side, from the professional side, from the business environmental side, from the competitor side, but he was able to overcome all these difficulties and he was able to come up in life. So this is a challenge for us. Before going on to see a few other examples, I will pose a challenge to each and every one of the participants. How do you react when a problem comes? Normally, right, people used to refer two objects. One is an egg, a hen's egg. Another one is brinjal. Both are white in color, both are similar in their physical texture, at least on the outer side. When both are boiled, what happens? A brinjal, which is somewhat hard, when it is boiled, it becomes very soft. But at the same time, an egg, which is soft inside, when it is boiled, it becomes hard and tough. So, same boiling water was applied to both of them, but their reaction was different. Similarly, in life also, all of us are put to same kind of pressure. All of us come across same kind of difficulties, same kind of tough situations. But how we handle them, how we take them, and how we gain out of them, or what is the outcome of such tribulations, right? That makes the difference. Are you going to be a brinjal or are you going to be an egg? That depends on how you take it and how you mold yourself to become. So hope you will understand how a situation, a tough situation, will mold a person or break a person. So this is what we are learning from this webinar today. But the next one, he is Mohan Singh Oberoi. Now you may be able to infer he is the chairman of Oberoi Hotels. Oberoi Hotels is everywhere in the world. The top class hotels are there. You may think he was born with a silver spoon, son of a rich man who could inherit the hotel industry. That was not the case. If you look into the difficulties he faced, you will wonder. He was born in the year 1898. He was born in the Jhelum district of Pakistan. His father was a wealthy contractor. When he was just 6 months old, his father died. Just imagine. At least Premji had a good school education. He was having almost a college degree. But Oberoi's father died when he was just 6 months old. All the wealth created by the family started vanishing quickly. He was not able to continue his education for that matter. So somehow he wants to help the family financially. So he started learning typing and shorthand so that he will join any office where he can make a meager salary with which he can feed his family members. He gets the job as a bellboy. He accepted it. In a hotel in Shimla, he got a job as a bellboy, right, which means a server. You will find attendants in the hotel lodges who will have to attend to the needs of the people who stay in the hotel as guests. So he was a bellboy, but he did not stop there. He continued hard. He was not just happy to be an attendant there. He proved the skills of him, and he was also able to convince the officers, the manager in the particular hotel, and he was given the job of a billing clerk. So from a bellboy to a clerk, that was an elevation. And the hotel's manager was impressed with his hard work, his dedication, how he is working very briskly. Right, you and I, if you were in that situation, what would we have done? Had my father been alive, our family would have been the wealthiest family in the town. But see, it's a great ill fortune, and I have to struggle like this. My father would have bought this hotel, but now you see, I have to work as a bellboy in the hotel. And we would have been having the self-pity, and we would have been in a kind of a depression. But that was not the case with Oberoi. He started climbing up. Now he impressed Mr. Clark, an Englishman who was the manager of Hotel Cecil, and he was very much impressed with his brisk and positive attitude. Mr. Clark, who was a manager in Hotel Cecil, had some wealth, so he was able to buy a small hotel in Shimla, and it was Oberoi who assisted him in buying that hotel. The hotel name was Hotel Carlton in Shimla. And again, impressed by the helping tendency of Oberoi, Mr. Clark makes him the manager, and before that the hotel was named after Mr. Clark, who bought this particular hotel. Oberoi becomes the manager. See the growth, slow growth, steady growth. He was a bellboy, he became the clerk, now he has become the manager. Right, another turning point came when in 1934, Mr. Clark plans to leave India, because that was when independence movement was gaining momentum and he wanted to go back to his home country. So he was planning to leave India, and now, appreciating the efforts of Oberoi, he gives the hotel to him at a very, very nominal rate. That too under an agreement where Oberoi will have to pay him monthly out of the earnings he will generate from the hotel bookings. That is how he bought the hotel and he started running it. Right. He becomes a very, very successful hotelier. Right, from nobody, he has become the owner of a star hotel in Shimla, and now his success story continues. In another 14 years, in 1934, he started owning one single hotel. In another 14 years, through sheer hard work, he was able to establish a company called East India Hotels. He establishes star hotels in many cities in India. The first 5-star hotel in India was established by Oberoi. It was called Oberoi Intercontinental, and it was in New Delhi. And the first Indian to establish a 5-star hotel in India, and he had that particular recognition, achievement behind him. So this was the history, how Oberoi started climbing up, and this continued. It's the second largest hotel company in India, next to the Taj group of hotels. He establishes brands such as Oberoi and Trident all over the world. He has 35-star hotels, 5-star and 7-star hotels, 5 luxury cruise ships which are running globally, and he has established his operations in India, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Singapore, Australia, and in Europe also. Right, and this is how an entrepreneur, Oberoi, faced difficulties from childhood poverty, and through hard work and very dedicated efforts, how he went on to become a successful person. Right. Let us look at another person. You might be able to remember him, Brij Mohanlal Munjal, the chairman of Hero Motorcar. Now Hero is known for its two-wheelers, Hero Motors. This gentleman also started his life in a very humble way. He was born in Kamalia in Pakistan, which was in 1923 in India. In 1947, he moved to Amritsar along with his 3 brothers. And for a living, he got into buying and selling bicycle components. He started buying bicycle components like chains, chain brackets, wheel hubs, and brake components from manufacturing companies, and he started selling them to dealers, shops which were selling these bicycle components. So from companies he would buy, and to shops he will sell. That is how he got into business. Then he started moving up. He started buying components to bicycle manufacturers. He was getting the supply from component manufacturers, and he established a network where he was having clients like bicycle manufacturers, Atlas and Raleigh, and some of the companies which had assembling units in India, where they were having some components needed. These were supplied by him. Right. From a seller, he becomes a manufacturer. In the year 1954, he started a small unit in Punjab, where he started making handbars and chain. So in addition to supplying bicycle manufacturers, getting components from other small manufacturers, in addition to that, he also started manufacturing handlebars and chains, and he started selling them to bicycle manufacturers. Another turning point came in the year 1956, when he had seen a tender for bicycle manufacturing from government of Punjab. Remember, he is only a component manufacturer. There were so many cycle manufacturers in Punjab, but he was so confident that he applied for the tender, and in the meeting he had an interaction with the Chief Minister of Punjab at that time. That gentleman was very much impressed by the vision and the confidence this young man had, and he was very much impressed. So even though Munjal did not have money, did not have experience, did not have technology, but still he had great plans, and the government was impressed, and they agreed for a joint venture. So for the first time, a government which will normally procure from a cycle manufacturer started getting into it, and it started financing an unimaginable happening. This was because of the excellent presentation skills and a clear-cut guidelines for future plans which Munjal had that impressed the government of Punjab, and they themselves gave money for the business operations. Within a few years, Hero Cycles went on to become the largest bicycle manufacturer in India. Maybe people from the 70s would have known. There were other brands also like BSA, Rally, Hercules. But Hero was a little known company, but it was able to achieve this market leadership because of two things. Number one, relatively cheaper maintenance. Number two, the relatively lower price. And number three, the excellent service it had at every district headquarters. In 1986, Munjal entered into Guinness record for the largest bicycle manufacturer in the whole world. Okay, from somebody who was just buying and selling components from one manufacturer to another shop keeper, you find he has gone to become the largest bicycle manufacturer in the world. Another turning point. Two-wheelers, 1991, government liberalized, allowing joint venture with foreign companies. For the first time, two-wheelers, bikes from foreign countries came to India in the joint venture mode. Even there, they established companies like brands like Enfield Bullet, Rajdoot, SD. Such bikes were there, which were like status symbols. Anybody who owned these bikes was a very wealthy person. Maybe one or two people in a neighborhood will only have bikes. But with the entry of foreign companies, Suzuki came in collaboration with TVS as Suzuki Max 100R. Yamaha came into India in collaboration with RX 100, Yamaha RX 100. And you also find Kawasaki came into collaboration with Bajaj as KB 100. Hero Honda also, Hero came into collaboration with Honda Japan. The difference was this company had 4-stroke engine, while all other two-wheelers, whether it is TVS Max 100, Yamaha RX 100 or Bajaj KB 100, they were all 2-stroke engines, but Hero came with 4-stroke engine, which gave a lot of mileage, relatively lesser maintenance. Hero Honda was formed to manufacture motorcycles. It became the largest motorcycle manufacturer in India. By 2013, they produced 50 million bikes, 5 crore bikes, a benchmark achievement. Okay, so this is another example of another entrepreneur who faced a lot of difficulties, but who was able to overcome them and come out successfully. Right. This gentleman, Karsan Bhai Patel, Nirma Group chairman. He was born in Gujarat in 1945 in a farmer's family. Completed BSc chemistry. He joined as a lab technician in New Cotton Mills, a private company. And the turning point came when he got a job in a government department, the geology and mining department, as a clerk. But this is where his dissatisfaction started showing up. Already as a chemistry graduate, he was having some inclination towards chemicals. But now he was sitting in a government department writing accounts, verifying accounts, and he found it was boring. So he started doing something As he was very much fond of chemicals, he started experimenting with detergents at his backyard. This happened in 1969. So while he was working in the government department as a clerk, in the evening times he started his own experiments with the detergents and he started manufacturing them. And when he was free, during his free time, he started selling them in bicycles. He gave the brand name Nirma. It was all handmade detergent powder. He started roaming around the neighborhood and he started selling them as a street hawker. And loudly shouting his brand name, he was selling in his brand. It was an instant success because he was selling it for 3 rupees per kilogram. At that time, there were brands like Surf, Det, which were selling at about 10 rupees per kilogram. So, same product, same quality, available at a cheaper price. People started buying them, and encouraged by that, he starts, after about 6 years, he starts establishing a factory. It became successful in the entire state of Gujarat. It became popular in Maharashtra also. He started distributing it in these two states with some business network. And after he establishes himself well, then he resigned the job and got into this manufacturing activity full time. And it became a market leader within a decade. And it started having 35% share in comparison with multinational companies like Hindustan, Unilever Limited, Procter and Gamble. And at that time, Godrej was also very popular. And amidst competition from all these giants, he was able to establish himself. So, a humble beginning, a farmer's son who got a BSc chemistry degree, who joined a government department for making a living, who experimented his skills in chemicals during his free time, right? And he became successful. So, fighting all these odds, he became very successful. Right? Today, the group of Nirma brand has a turnover of 2,500 crore. 14,000 employees are working. And in 1995, it established Nirma Institute of Technology, which went on to become Nirma University of Science and Technology in 2003. Okay, so we have a lesson from this particular person, Karsanbhai Patel, who can rise from very ordinary background, how he can become very, very successful. So all these people whom we have seen so far, they are not very rich in their background, or they are not very successful right from the beginning, or they did not have somebody to help them so that they could come up. But it was their hard work, their determination, with which they could overcome all the difficulties and they became successful. Right. We will see one more person, right, who was again a giant in the field of airlines industry, Naresh Goyal, Chairman and Managing Director, Jet Airways. Again, looking at his background, he was from a very, very ordinary middle class family. After completing his education in 1967 in Mumbai, he started searching for employment. Only when he gets a job, his family can survive. That was the condition. So he joined his relative's company. What was the company all about? That company was a marketing agency for Lebanese International Airlines. If it is at least for Singapore Airlines or Lufthansa, you can say there is some future because it is associated with a good airline company. But Lebanese airline company, nobody knows. and his uncle was running this marketing agency, a ticketing agency for Lebanese International Airlines, where he could write canvas for passengers as well as write things which can be transported in Lebanese International Airlines, cargo. So cargo and passenger agency was the company, and he joined the company for a meager sum of rupees 40. Right. If you and I have joined such a company, what we would have thought? It's a hopeless company. Our future is ruined, and we would have started blaming everybody for such a sad state of affairs. But this gentleman started learning how an industry is operating. Some people are becoming successful, some people are not so. What is the difference? What makes a person successful in the airline industry, particularly the cargo? He started analyzing and he became an expert in what is there in an airline industry. He started analyzing so many things out of his own. Nobody taught him. He started learning about the traffic patterns, the route structure, the operational economics, all such things he started learning, and he became an expert in airlines business model. How an airline company can become successful. What should be done, what should not be done. He became an expert in that, but still he was earning a monthly salary of a very few hundreds. In 1974, he started a company. He called it Jet Airways Limited. So don't think that he bought 5 airplanes and he started running them between India and Europe. That was not the case. The company's name was high sounding, Jet Airways. But what was it doing? It was a consultancy for foreign airlines in India. It was just a consultancy company. Any foreign company having its operations connected to India as a destination would like to have some economic activities in terms of cargo handling, in terms of passenger traffic. So he will be giving them tips as to how to better serve the people in India, and that's his consultancy. And this is what he named as Jet Airways Limited. And even for starting this consultancy company, he had to pledge his mother's jewels and raise money for starting this company. Right. Turning point 2. Again, you can call that as a challenge. You can call that as an opportunity, how a person takes it. And in 1991, right, Naresh Goyal gets into scheduled domestic air services. Nobody thought he will take a plunge like that, but he started. There were many companies which came with a lot of money. There was NEPC Airlines, there was East West Airlines. So many companies came with a lot of money, but they could not survive. But this company, which was launched by raising loans from so many companies, was quite successful because he has already learned about the industry. He know what to do to be successful, and he became a very successful company. And it was the first Indian airline company to go for IPO, listing in the stock market, and it bought Air Sahara for an amount of 2,225 crore. You can imagine how much he could make. The net worth of the company rose to about 8,500 crore, even though of late it has run into some difficulties. It had been a very, very successful company. How an entrepreneur facing a lot of difficulties from so many fronts was able to successfully come up and establish a company, run it for so many decades successfully. Okay, so far we had seen entrepreneurs who were in the old economy, who had been doing well in a traditional economy, who were facing a lot of difficulties, who overcame a lot of problems and became successful. Let us also look into another person who is a person who had been successful in the most recent times. Mr. Panindra Sama, founder of Red Bus. Right, our principal was making a reference to him, and he was also telling that even without owning a single bus, now he is able to operate or have a stake in thousands of buses, and he was able to bring them under his control. Right, how it all started. If you look into it, he had no intention to get into this kind of a business. Three friends were studying in BITS, Birla Institute of Technology and Science, BITS Pilani, in Rajasthan. Panindra Sama, Sudhakar, and Charan. After completing their degrees, all three of them got employment in Bangalore. Panindra Sama was working as senior design engineer in Texas Instruments, Bangalore, a US-based company. Charan was working for Honeywell, and another friend Sudhakar was working for IBM. So all three of them were well settled. They were doing well in their career, and they had every reason to be content and happy. And that is how things were going. But a turning point came when Panindra Sama faced a problem in 2005. He wanted to go to his native place, Hyderabad, but he could not get a ticket. And there was no way. The tickets were priced very heavily, but even then he was not able to get a ticket and go to Hyderabad to be with his family for the festival celebration. So that night he stayed in the bus stand of Bangalore, and then he decided, I will do something about this. Lot many people are facing such a problem. We have money, but we are not able to reach places on time. And that is the night when the dream for starting a ticket booking agency without having any office materialized. After 1 year of discussion with his other friend Sudhakar and Charan, he started this company called Red Bus. Within 2 years, its revenue went above $12 million. Between these two lines, in 2006 and 2008, there were a lot of hardships faced by Panindra Sama and his friends. Nobody will talk about the difficulties, how he faced difficulties, how he overcome them. He had to deal with two sets of people. Number one, the bus owners, called bus operators. On the other extreme, he had to deal with the people who will book the tickets, the passengers. But he had to face a peculiar kind of problem who came in between, who were called the ticket agents. And most of the bus operators were having arrangements with the ticket agents in different places. So this was the first hurdle which had to be overcome by Sama. The bus owners were reluctant to get into any kind of activity other than running the bus. We are experts in buying good buses, maintaining them well, and engaging the crew members, driver, conductor, and we are happy with that. We don't want to get into the business of ticket management. But he had to convince them. He had to tell them that you need not have anything, but you need just a few computers. The bus owners were not ready to buy computers, but Red Bus arranged for computers to all the bus operators who were entering into agreement with them. Nobody talks about this. This is the problem faced by Panindra Sama. So, convincing the bus operators about the need for having computers, training the people who will handle the computers, like he did very hard work for 1.5 years. Then only he was accepted by the bus operators. So for the first time in India, the bus operators were brought into the technically advanced computer world, and this was financed by Panindra Sama. He installed the computers in every bus operator's office. He trained the people who can do minimal activities there, and this is how he was able to get into this particular interesting travel segment, and how he was able to achieve this $12 million is because of this hard but intelligent work done by Panindra Sama. Like, it is one of the fastest growing Indian startups, and this is the example of a recent entrepreneur who faced peculiar problem and how he overcome it. Right. Paytm, now we are familiar with this. The founder, Vijay Shekhar Sharma, right, it's a very average middle class person hailing from a very simple family. He had difficulties even in paying for his college education. Many times he will not be able to pay the mess bill on time. And how he overcome such difficulty was, even at that time while he was a college student, he started a prepaid mobile recharging website where he was able to give a lot of discounts and concession to people who will recharge through him. So this became very popular, and his turning point came when he made a visit to China. In China, he found a person who was buying vegetable was not paying any cash, but he was doing something in the mobile, and the vegetable seller was also checking something in the mobile, and this raised his curiosity. He started looking into it, asked him, why, what are you doing? Then they said, this is how we are making our payments. So this payment channel is what we are having, and this motivated him to start a particular company called 197 Communications, which offered mobile content including news, cricket scores, ringtone, jokes, and exam results. He was not charging anything for this, but his revenue came from the advertisers who found that so many people are using this particular website, and they started advertising in this website, and that is how he started earning his money. The turning point came in 2010. He established the company Paytm with the initial investment of $2 million, and you will be surprised to know who are all the investors in the company. People even outside the country started investing in them. It started off as a prepaid mobile and recharge platform. They later added bill payment section to that. And in 2014, he launched Paytm Wallet, and he convinced the Indian Railways and Uber that they could make this as a payment option, and it launched into e-commerce. you will be surprised to know that the investors in his company are people like Warren Buffett and Jack Ma. So these international, right, big shots, they even started investing in Paytm even at that time, because they could foresee a great scope for growth of this particular company, and the difficulties in the Indian context, they knew Shekhar will be able to overcome them with his dedication, and they started investing in them. Right. Later, Paytm also started launching other related businesses, and it became very, very successful. Right. And like Fanindra Sama's Red Bus, Shekhar's Paytm also became very, very successful. Today, you will find even bank ATM cards. Right, you find they have this Paytm technology being used, and they are quite right comfortable to use that on par with the other cards like MasterCard, Visa card, and Mastro card. Right, and he also got this outstanding Startup of the Year award. It became the first payment app to cross 100 million uploads, and right, even that was great, even by the world standards. Even international recognition came to him. Just imagine a person who was not able to even pay his mess bills, but because of his exposure to the technology world, right, was able to, right, earn so much money, right, as he was very much technical oriented, very much dedicated, know how to carry out the business, and he became successful. Right, and the next one is the Bansal brothers, founders of Flipkart. Right, they were IIT grads. They are not brothers, even though the name Bansal is there. They were senior and junior in IIT Delhi, who were picked by Amazon. So they were working for Amazon. Amazon was focusing on online book selling with countrywide shipping. And in 2011, right, the company started buying other companies related to digital distribution. Right, Mime360.command, a digital content library of Bollywood portal, Chuckpack, was bought by them. They acquired Let's Buy, an online electronic retail outlet. Myntra, a very famous online fashion retailer, was bought by Flipkart in the year 2014 for $20 billion. So this is how the success journey of the Bansals moved on. Right, and they were able to get into, right, even get the eBay's Indian subsidiary, ebay.in, to Flipkart. So such was the excellent business operations performed by them. And Flipkart, even though Amazon is a market leader, is able to retain about 40% of the market share. Right, and the last one is about, right, Pepperfry, a furniture manufacturing company. 4 friends who joined to become the co-owners of this particular company, who had experience in similar companies earlier. Online furniture was not at all possible at that time, because buying a furniture will require you to go to the shop, inspect that, be convinced with the color, texture, shape, and all that. But they were able to bring in this kind of a shopping experience even in online shopping through 360-degree camera view, and they were able to successfully make this happen, and they were able to come out with subsequent launches, and as of now, there are more than 3.8 million users, and they are having 17 supply hubs all over the country. So you choose a particular product and that will be delivered online at your doorstep, at your home, and this will be done by 17 hubs which are located all over the country. Right. So many 4 million customer orders. Remember, 40 lakhs customers have been supplied by them. They have also got into furniture rentals. Try and buy sofas, furniture is also being taken care of by them. Right. Going by the phrase of Jack Ma, today is hard, tomorrow will be worse, but the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. Never give up. What does it mean? You may face problems. The problems may not seem to go away. You may find the problems are intensifying. Today there is a problem. Tomorrow it is not gone. It has become more. But continue. Persist. Work hard. Have hope. Never give up. Because the day after tomorrow will be sunshine. So, dear students, I have exposed you to a few entrepreneurs who are like you and me. They were not people born with very influential family backgrounds. Most of them were even poorer than us. They had difficulties in paying their monthly bills. Some of them had difficulties in even feeding their family members. But still, they overcame all these problems because they had a well laid out plan. They started working towards achieving their plans very systematically. They started looking at every problem as an opportunity, and they made use of them well so that they could achieve success. So, we saw about 8 entrepreneurs. 8 of them had different backgrounds. Some of them had not even had college education. Some of them had education from IIT Delhi. Educational background was different. Some of them had money. Some of them did not have money. They were from so many backgrounds. Likewise, right, we may also hail from different backgrounds. We cannot blame our backgrounds all the time, and we cannot use that as a reason for not thinking in terms of achieving success. You cannot blame someone. You cannot blame your background. You cannot blame your parents. You cannot blame the education that's given to you and use them as a scapegoat. But looking at the examples of all these people whom we had seen now, let us take an example from each of their lives. Trying to be optimistic, trying to be hardworking, trying to be a visionary, trying to make every opportunity successfully utilized, trying to make every problem, turning them into an opportunity. That positive attitude is very important for us. Whether you want to succeed in your career or whether you want to be successful in business, this attitude of not being bogged down by the problems, but having the determination to overcome the problems, that will only distinguish a successful person from a person who is not successful. So if you want to be successful, face the problem. Don't run away from the problem. Face the problem. Look for overcoming the problems. Look for an opportunity in a problem. Don't be a pessimistic person who will look for a problem in every opportunity, but be an optimistic person who will look for an opportunity in every problem. I will close with a small story. There was a sage, ஒரு முனிவர், in a particular place. He was considered to be very wise, very intelligent. He can answer whatever questions you ask him. He will give a very fitting reply to your question. There was a very mischievous boy in the locality who wanted to play fun, play a trick with this sage. He went there with a small bird in his hand. There were a lot of people around the sage. So in front of this crowd, he posed the question to the sage. He asked him a question. Respected sage, I have a bird in my hand. It is so small, so it is within my palm. You have to tell me whether it is alive or dead. So his intention was, if the sage says it is alive, he will squeeze his palm, he'll kill the bird, and then he will show, see, it is dead. So you are wrong. On the other hand, if the sage says it is alive, he may simply allow the bird to fly away by opening his palm. That was his trick. So the sage saw through his mind and he said, my dear son, whether the bird is alive or dead is in your hand. உயிரோட இருக்கா செத்து போச்சாங்கிறது உன் கையில தான்ப்பா இருக்கு அப்படின்னு ஒரு பதில் சொன்னார். That was a very, very intelligent answer to that impish little fellow. But today I want to give the same phrase to you. It is in your hand. Your life, your success, your achievement is in your hand. You cannot blame somebody. You cannot blame your parents. You cannot blame somebody who gave you education, somebody who didn't give you an opportunity. You cannot blame anybody, because your success or your failure is in your hands. Okay, so with these few words, let me conclude this presentation. If any of you have any questions to ask, I'll be happy to answer. Right now, let the organizers take over. Thank you.
Thank you for your valuable speech, sir. Now, hands-on session. Dear
Please,
participants, yes, sir.
A question session.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Dear participants, now you can unmute yourself. Ask your queries to the resource person.
Thank you, Sargunam sir.
Thank you, sir. Welcome.
Really, it's a very wonderful session. Really, it's amazing.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your
examples.
Hearing
I didn't move away from the screen for the total 1.5 hour.
Thank you for the compliment, and it is very happy to hear it from a very, very deserving and an established and expert in the field, sir. Thank you very much.
Not like that. Just from the beginning to end, I never moved anywhere.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Wonderful, sir. Really, it's amazing. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Satnam, sir.
Thank you, Kaja, sir. Thank you.
First wishes from our premier, our principal, premier institution premier. Thank you for your wishes, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry, sir. Participants, please ask your questions.
Sir, Sargunam sir.
Sir, Tell me,
Why
sir.
don't you write a book with these contents?
Thank you very much for your suggestion, sir.
Yeah,
We'll
you can do it, sir. It's the content
Okay.
is super and enough to
Okay,
print a
sir.
book, so that
Okay, sir.
many people can get a light from this.
Exactly. Because people are thinking that the
Yeah.
successful entrepreneurs are all having
Sure.
something to help them, but it
Yes,
is
yes,
not so in
exactly.
reality.
Yes,
They have
yes.
also faced problems like us, but only thing is that they were working hard on it with determination and they have come up
Yes,
successfully.
yes.
And we are also planning to get some uh, autobiography from our local business entrepreneurs.
Very good, very good, very good.
Where help in this regard will be very much
Sure,
helpful, sir.
sir.
Okay.
I will cooperate, sir.
Thank you,
Sarvam sir, sir, please
Sir.
close your screenshot. That's only the question will be asked. Screenshot,
Okay.
please close it.
Okay, sir.
Dear participants, any queries?
One from Usha Prabhu. She asked a question: why startup fails?
Okay, sir. That's a very relevant and a very practical question. Even worldwide, they say the startup success ratio is only 4%. Even in the Western countries where they give a lot of protection, guidance, the success rate has not exceeded 4%. So that means out of 100 ventures, 96 of them fail. And the major reason for such a failure would be how they connect with the market. You see, a lot of companies come out with very innovative technological features, but how the end users will understand them, what will be the difficulties, they do not take that into account. For example, when Redbus was launched, they thought that it would be an instant success because they found that their peers, colleagues in the software industry were facing similar problem. So when they launched this website, they thought everybody will be using the computers very easily and everybody will get over the problem. But when they got into the real practical applications, they found that the bus operators were not ready to get into the computers at all. They said, "Sir, we don't know anything about computers. We don't want to get into it. We are good in buying good buses, maintaining them, running them. That is our core area. We don't know anything about computers." But Panindra Sama took the extra effort of convincing them that if they appoint one person, he will be giving them training. He will ensure that all the computer related things will be bought and given to them, and they can pay that even after 1 year when all business operations are successful. That is how he was able to convince the bus operators and establishing computer facilities in all their offices. So, such meticulous planning or a very innovative way of solving a problem is very important. And that is what is lacking in most of the startups. They think by just launching an app, everybody will start using it. It's not like that. What basic problems are there? You have to look into it and you have to solve it. Let's say, for example, you have an app for plumber. You may think an app for plumbers, so anybody can just log into that or use that app, go into the process, looking for a plumber nearby and accommodate him. So they thought this will be something like Amazon or Flipkart, where you place orders and get it, but that is not the case. In the case of a plumber, the background of the plumber, his history, his character, everything is very important. It is not like buying something from an online store. So, for such a work like a plumber, you require some kind of confidence, some kind of assurance on his right, behavior and character. This was not taken care of. And this genuine doubt or this genuine concern of the users was not at all addressed. One way of addressing that would be, you have the list of all the plumbers, their history, how they have done in the past, where are they from, their family background, and you should have some hold over them in the form of their Aadhaar card or something which you will be able to get it. So this kind of, right, additional effort should be done, then only you will be able to successfully operate a startup. So I think that answers your question.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Pallavi Ingail is having a question. Is there? Dr. Pallavi?
Yes.
Dr. Pallavi? Okay.
The Pallavi question is that, sir, can you please tell on the basis of our experience what quality need how to become an entrepreneur?
She is not able to unmute. Please unmute her.
Okay.
Please unmute her.
Sir,
Chitra?
actually,
Chitram, sir.
Please unmute Dr. Pallavi.
Yeah, good
Okay.
afternoon.
Yeah, please.
Yeah, good afternoon to all the present people, and thank you, sir, that you have presented well everything, and all the startups you have presented from the very 90s to now the current 20s, and really it was a great to listen all the things, how they become, what they face, really good. Sir, my question is like to become an entrepreneur, because in books I have seen there are the many things they have mentioned that this should be there, this should be there. But I want, on the basis of your experience, what quality should be there? What type of character he should have, then he can become a good entrepreneur, sir?
thank you, madam. That's a very relevant question. Normally, we think we list down what are the essential characteristics of a successful entrepreneur, and we say planning, and we say he has to be hardworking, he has to be good in time management, and so many things. But what distinguishes a successful entrepreneur is, right, how he is able to be street smart. When a situation comes, how he is able to react, how he is able to overcome that. So how he is working under pressure. So critically, when something is going wrong, how he is able to maintain his composure, remain cool, look at the problem and try to solve that. So that is more important. So rather than all the textual information we have about the essential qualities, when a situation arises, how he is able to tackle it, it may be totally different. So how innovatively he comes out of that by thinking in an out of box manner. So that is more important from an entrepreneur's point of view. I will also like to add, right, everybody is talking about the success of Achi Masala. Even before he became successful, he had a very terrible financial problem where no financial institutions came to help him. No banks, not even private financial institutions were ready to finance his venture because of his earlier failure. So he did one thing. He started this, right, informal way of chit fund, and he started, right, getting finances raised from his friends and known people, and that is how he was able to overcome the initial financial hurdle he was facing at a very crucial juncture. So my point is, when you face an unusual situation, how you are able to overcome that, that is very important for an entrepreneur to be successful. Madam, I think I have given at least one view of yours.
Audrey,
இந்த டிஸ்பிளே தெரிஞ்சுக்கு அவர் பேசி
அவருக்கா கொடுக்கலையா?
அவர்கிட்ட சொல்லுங்க. ஷேர் பண்ணுங்க.
Some of them asked a question like this. Why don't you mention somebody from Tamil Nadu? Entrepreneur, successful entrepreneur from Tamil Nadu.
Right. Actually, a few list from Tamil Nadu, sir. But Right, maybe next time we'll share it, sir.
Okay.
Even there are many local entrepreneurs. Even our own professional courier is there, and so many local entrepreneurs are there, sir. Right, we'll have a separate session on that, sir.
Sure, sure. Chitra, could you please unmute Dr. Mohammed Siddiq?
Yes, sir. Siddiq, sir.
Please unmute him.
Salim, sir.
Yes, sir, good morning.
Good morning.
Really, it's a very nice presentation on the topic entrepreneurship. But my question is, sir, usually an entrepreneur can stand in his own foot, though he has to depend upon the government policy. But the central government has introduced labor code. Recent labor code is
Connection is somewhat faulty.
it's not support to large scale.
Please unmute.
Siddiq, unmute பண்ணுங்க.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, please continue.
Yeah. So the recent labor code is more favor to the large scale companies. I feel personally an entrepreneur financial crisis.
Right, exactly. Sir, if I could get from what you could speak, the government policies, right, are not always helpful. When liberalization policy was announced, right, many Indian companies which were having dominant position were affected. For example, Bajaj, which was having a massive control over the scooter segment, faced a problem. But at the same time, the same company, Bajaj, entered into collaboration with Kawasaki, came out with a two-wheeler KB100, and it was successful. So many a times you find we have to fight so many battles, sometimes one by one, sometimes simultaneously. Government policies are a major right issues. Government policies are sometimes favorable, sometimes unfavorable, and we have to live with that. There is no other go.
Chitra, could you please unmute Shweta? Shweta Gakrija. She wants to ask a question. Shweta. It is the last question. Okay, Shweta, please.
Good
Tell me,
afternoon, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. And my question to you is, what is the future of dropshipping business? Like, what are the problems being faced right now? And how they can be converted into opportunities?
Madam, which business? I didn't get you.
Dropshipping business, sir.
Pardon?
Dropshipping business. Dropshipping business.
Okay. What do you mean by that, madam? Drop shipping?
It's sir, online business, no?
Yeah. Right. Even right, grocery shops are now delivering on home the orders. Do you mean that, madam?
Yeah, sir. Actually, it's kind of a business where we don't have, the middleman kind of a thing.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes, madam. And with the technical developments, that would be a very, very important segment which will grow. Even traditional businesses are having it as a supplementary channel nowadays, and this will continue, madam, in the days to come, even after the lockdown is lifted, or even after we are allowed to go freely to shops. Even then, people who had got used to this convenience of getting everything delivered at their doorsteps will definitely look forward to that. And this will remain a flourishing business in the days to come, madam.
Thank you, sir.
Sir, Saila sir.
Sir.
Sir, please minimize your Zoom app, sir. That's really your screen will be displayed. Minimize the Zoom screen. No, okay, sir.
Is it okay, sir? Okay.
Okay, shall we conclude?
Yes.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Chitra, proceed.
We have sent you feedback form link in the chat box. Fill out feedback form within the stipulated time. Then here, the roots of all goodness lie in the soil of appreciation. It's my pleasure to welcome Assistant Professor P. Muhammad Buhari Salim to deliver the vote of thanks.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most beneficent and most merciful, today Department of Commerce Unaided organized a wonderful webinar on challenges faced by Indian entrepreneurs, practical examples. It is an immense pleasure to deliver my vote of thanks. First of all, I express my sincere thanks to our Secretary and Committee members of Sadakathullah Appa College Autonomous. I would like to incorporate my heartiest thanks to the historical institution and its principal, Dr. M. Muhammad Sadi. Thank you, sir. I would like to thank to Dr. Cyrus Sargunam, Head Department of Management Studies, Hub Coordinator, AURCT IED Hub, Anna University, Regional Campus, Tirunelveli. Thank you, sir. I extend my wholehearted thanks to the Vice Principal, Dr. S.M.A. Sayyid Muhammad Kaja. Thank you, sir. I extend my thanks to Ms. K. Chitra, Assistant Professor, Department of Commerce, Unaided. I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Sahul Hamid, Head of the Department of BBA, for extending his full support to conduct the webinar in association with our college IIC. I would like to register my sincere thanks to faculty members from our own college and reputed friendly institution. I extend my thanks to research scholars, students, industrialists, and other participants. Once again, I thank one and all. Dear participants, certificate will be issued soon to your mail. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you for your participation, sir. Principal sir, very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
For sparing your precious time with the full session. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It was a nice session. Thank you.
Yeah, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, Salim, sir. Thank you, Rahmath. Thank you. Please conclude the session. Please conclude the session.